Are you an entrepreneur evaluating a new venture or an investor considering an opportunity? You've likely encountered business models that raise eyebrows, often dismissed as just another pyramid scheme. But is that label always accurate, or are we confusing structure with scam? Understanding the critical distinction is vital for making informed decisions and avoiding costly mistakes, while also recognizing potentially legitimate opportunities. Welcome to Leveraged Success. The root of skepticism: why we jump to pyramid scheme as soon as we hear something we're not familiar with. It's a common reaction. A business model with multiple levels, where participants earn from others below them, immediately triggers suspicion. This knee-jerk response isn't unfounded. History is littered with fraudulent schemes that have defrauded countless individuals. Past negative experiences and widespread media coverage of scams have created a strong, often automatic, association between multi-level structures and illegality. This ingrained skepticism, while protective, can also lead to missed opportunities if not tempered with objective analysis. For entrepreneurs, career changers, and investors, the challenge is to move beyond the initial emotional reaction and apply a rigorous, fact-based evaluation process. The visual similarity between legitimate hierarchical structures and illegal schemes is the primary source of this confusion, making careful due diligence paramount. The pyramid shape is simply an efficient way to organize people and resources in many legitimate contexts. It reflects levels of responsibility, authority, or progression. Recognizing these common legal structures helps differentiate them from fraudulent models based purely on recruitment. Think of any established corporation, from a tech giant to a local business. There's typically a CEO or president at the top, followed by senior executives, middle management, and a broad base of employees. This structure facilitates clear lines of command, delegation, and specialized roles, enabling the company to produce goods or services efficiently and generate revenue from market sales. This organizational model is designed for operational efficiency and accountability. Value flows from the collective work of the employees, managed through the hierarchy, resulting in products or services sold to external customers. Income is derived from these sales and distributed as salaries, wages, and profits based on roles and performance within the structure. Schools and universities also operate with a clear hierarchical pyramid structure. A superintendent or president oversees principals or deans, who manage department heads, leading to teachers, and, finally, the student body. This system organizes the delivery of education, curriculum development, and administrative functions necessary for learning. The purpose here is knowledge transfer and academic achievement, not financial gain through recruitment. Funding comes from tuition, government budgets, or endowments, supporting the educational services provided. The structure ensures organized learning environments and administrative oversight for the benefit of students and faculty. The military is perhaps the most rigid example of a pyramid structure, with generals at the apex and a vast number of enlisted personnel forming the base. This hierarchy is essential for command, control, and coordinated action in complex and high-stakes environments. It ensures discipline, clear orders, and efficient deployment of resources. Many modern businesses use referral programs to acquire new customers. Services like ride-sharing apps, online marketplaces, or subscription boxes offer incentives, discounts, credits, small bonuses for referring new users. While this involves one person bringing another into the service, the core business relies on providing a valuable product or service to the end customer. The income or benefit derived from referrals is supplementary, a marketing cost for customer acquisition. The primary revenue stream comes from the actual use or purchase of the product or service by the referred customer. This model is legal and sustainable because it's built upon genuine value exchange in the marketplace. In stark contrast to legitimate structures, an illegal pyramid scheme is a fraudulent investment operation. Its primary characteristic is that participants earn money almost exclusively by recruiting new members rather than from the sale of genuine products or services to actual consumers. The scheme requires an ever-increasing number of new recruits to pay off earlier participants. These schemes are inherently unsustainable. They rely on exponential growth in recruitment, which is mathematically impossible to maintain indefinitely. When the pool of potential recruits dries up, the flow of money stops and the scheme collapses, leaving the vast majority of participants, especially those at the lower levels, with significant financial losses. There is no real economic activity or value creation supporting the payments. A legitimate pyramid structure in a business context is simply an organizational chart or compensation plan that has multiple levels. Crucially, income is derived primarily from the sale of real products or services to end consumers, or from legitimate business activities like management, production, or service delivery. Recruitment may exist, examples like hiring employees, building a sales team, but it is not the sole or primary source of income for participants. These structures are sustainable because they are based on generating revenue from market demand for goods or services. They facilitate efficient organization, management, and distribution. Examples include traditional corporate hierarchies, multi-level marketing, MLM, companies that genuinely focus on sales of product and service, and sales organizations with tiered commission structures based on sales volume. Distinguishing between a legitimate structure and an illegal scheme requires focusing on fundamental operational characteristics. For investors and entrepreneurs, these are the critical points of analysis. Pyramid structure. A legitimate business with a pyramid structure offers a genuine product or service that has value to end consumers. Revenue is generated from the sale of this product or service outside the participant network. Pyramid scheme. There is either no real product or service, or the product or service is overpriced, has little intrinsic value, or is merely a facade to justify the transfer of money. The focus is not on selling to external customers. Pyramid structure. Income is primarily derived from sales of products or services to non-participants, or from legitimate business activities such as salary, profit share based on overall company performance, commissions on sales volume. Recruitment might offer small bonuses, but it's not the main income driver. Pyramid scheme. Income is primarily, if not solely, derived from the fees paid by new recruits joining the scheme. Participants are paid from the money brought in by those they recruit, and those recruited by their recruits, creating a chain dependent on continuous enrollment. Pyramid structure. Sustainable in the long term, as long as there is market demand for the product or service, and the business is managed effectively. Growth is tied to market penetration and sales volume. Pyramid scheme. Inherently unsustainable. It requires an ever-expanding base of new recruits, which is mathematically impossible. It is destined to collapse, causing significant losses for later participants. Pyramid structure. Legal business model. Complies with regulations regarding sales, compensation, and consumer protection. Pyramid scheme. Illegal in most countries. Violates anti-fraud laws and consumer protection statutes because it is based on deception and inevitable failure for most participants. The visual similarity is the most obvious reason for confusion, but several other factors contribute to the difficulty in distinguishing between the two, especially for those new to evaluating complex business models. Bad actors deliberately exploit the legitimate multi-level structure to disguise their illegal scheme. They may introduce a token product or service to appear legitimate, mimicking the look of legal multi-level marketing companies. This intentional deception makes it harder for the untrained eye to spot the fraud. A general lack of public education on the specific legal definitions and operational differences between legitimate multi-level compensation plans and illegal recruitment schemes is a major factor. Without clear criteria, people rely on gut feeling or superficial similarities. Furthermore, negative personal experiences or widely publicized failures of actual pyramid schemes or poorly managed MLMs can color judgment, leading to the assumption that any business with multiple levels or recruitment components is a scam, regardless of its operational model or income source. For entrepreneurs, career changers, and investors, moving past skepticism requires a structured approach to evaluation. Don't just look at the shape, analyze the substance. Focus on the revenue source. Where does the money really come from? Is it from sales to actual customers outside the network, or from recruitment fees paid by new participants? This is the single most important question. Analyze the product or service. Is there a genuine product or service with intrinsic value that people would buy even without the compensation plan? Is it competitively priced? Would you buy it if you weren't involved in the business opportunity? Examine the compensation plan. How are participants paid? Is income primarily based on sales volume or on the number of people recruited? Be wary if recruitment bonuses significantly outweigh potential earnings from product sales. Assess the business model's sustainability. Does the model rely on continuous exponential recruitment or on ongoing demand for a product or service? A sustainable model is built on market value, not an endless chain of new participants. Look for transparency. Is the company open about its financials, its compensation plan, and its leadership? Are earnings claims realistic and substantiated, or are they based on hypothetical recruitment scenarios? Check for red flags. High pressure to join immediately, emphasis on recruitment over sales, large upfront investment requirements, promises of unrealistic returns, lack of a real product or service, or complex, opaque compensation plans are all warning signs. Skepticism is a valuable trait for entrepreneurs and career changers, but it must be paired with objective analysis. The shape of a business structure is not the determining factor of its legality or legitimacy. What matters is the underlying business model, how it generates revenue, provides value, and sustains itself. By understanding the clear distinctions between legitimate pyramid structures and illegal pyramid schemes, focusing on the source of income, the presence of a real product or service, and sustainability, you can navigate the landscape of business opportunities with greater confidence. Don't let the visual similarity blind you to either potential scams or legitimate ventures. Apply rigorous due diligence and ask the right questions. Thanks for seeking informed perspectives with leveraged success. If this analysis helps you evaluate opportunities more clearly, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more objective insights into business and investment. Share this video with fellow entrepreneurs or career changers who need to cut through the confusion. Your engagement helps us combat misinformation and empower better decision-making. See you in the next video.